Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. My name is Trey Sutten. I'm the CEO of Cardinal Innovations, but I work for you all. I'm here with Jessica Moore today. She's the head of our care coordination team, specifically for our IDD population. Today is not going to be about progress reports, measures, metrics, and numbers. We have, over the last year, been working very aggressively on making some improvements in the areas that our counties brought to our attention. We're publishing regular updates on our plan of action page on our website. And what you'll find there is that real progress, real measurable progress is being made in the areas that have been brought to our attention. And we're proud of that work. The team is doing a great job moving the ball down the field on the things that matter to you and to our community. But today's not about numbers, despite that being my comfort zone. Today's about you and lifting up your stories, amplifying your voice. And so I'm here with Jessica Moore, and we're both going to talk a little bit about that today.
Thank you, Trey, for having me here. We all know that within the IDD community, there are individuals who require support due to Down syndrome, due to autism, due to cerebral palsy. And our job is to make sure that they have a voice. One of the key things that's critical for our IDD population is the relationships that they establish. For many of our members and families, one of the most important relationships they have is with their care coordinator. Their care coordinator is a key component of determining whether or not they will be successful in navigating what can be a very complicated service system. These, in many cases, in most cases, I would venture to say, are relationships that have taken years and years to establish. These are relationships where they are forged and we become sometimes the voice of the member when they can't speak for themselves. Other times we anchor them. We serve as their support system. We help keep them calm during periods of chaos. They call on us to celebrate anything from graduations to job placements, and they also call us to mourn a loss. We essentially can feel like a part of their family. Right now, my team is very concerned, and they're not concerned about themselves. They're concerned about the impact of potential changes on the very members that they have spent years establishing relationships with. We've had family members who have said to our care coordination leaders, our supervisors, and our managers, please don't ever take Dawn away from me. Please don't ever take Jennifer away from me. Of particular concern is our Spanish-speaking population. This transition, in addition to all the other impacts that it will have on our members, for our Spanish-speaking population, there is no guarantee that they will be connected with someone who understands their language, their culture, who understands the history of supports that they've received, and they will have to get reacclimated to a new person who may or may not be able to adequately communicate with them. One of the other things that we are really concerned about is the timing of this transition. So we're talking about a change from care coordinator to another care coordinator, a change from one health plan to another, and a change in the service system overall. One of those changes at any given moment is enough to make a member and their family feel overwhelmed. And care coordination has been successful in helping our families navigate those changes in times past. We all know that the idea of a county realigning with another organization is not a new concept. In fact, Cardinal has been a part of that several times. What's different about those instances, however, is that it was A, collaborative in nature, and B, done in a way that kept the member, all members, not just the subpopulation, but kept all of our members at the forefront. One of the things that we did intentionally at Cardinal in those prior transitions was to ensure that we employed all of the care coordinators who were employed already by the organization that we were joining with. And that is what made that indeed a seamless transition. For our IDD population, we know how strenuous a process that can be. And just having those people there who already know your needs is of critical importance. And that's what made those transitions a success for our members.
Yeah, no, thanks for that, Jessica. It's clear that you and the team are worried about some real potential issues. Obviously, with any transition, folks can work as hard as they can to make sure that goes smoothly. inevitably, there's always challenges, and we want to make sure that those challenges are considered as we think about this next decision. I think that's most important. You know, you've talked about some of the processes, some of the relationships, some of the connections. I want to drill in. I want to talk about some of our members in particular. First, I want to talk about Pam. Pam is a young woman, wheelchair-bound, quadriplegic cerebral palsy. She uses an augmentative communication device, which essentially means it's difficult for her to communicate with others. She's working with one of our care coordinators, in fact, one of yours, Jennifer. And Jennifer understands her needs. In this case, Pam's reluctant to advocate for herself. She's shy and hesitant to do so. But Jennifer already understands what she needs, and she's worked with her for years. And those are the types of disruptions that we're talking about. There's also Phyllis. Phyllis is in her 70s. You know, at this point in her life, she doesn't have any natural family supports or any other connection to the community other than her care coordinator. What she wants right now is to remain with her care coordinator for the balance of her life. That may sound like hyperbole, but in this instance, she says that what she wants for the rest of her life is to remain with her care coordinator. There's also 2 young brothers with special needs that your team is responsible for. I think it's Nikki that's her care coordinator on your team, Nikki Johnson. Nikki over years has worked with the mom to develop mom and dad to develop an understanding of these 2 young men's needs. And those are the relationships, those are the disruptions that we're talking about. These are just 3 stories, but I've got pages and pages of stories that represent thousands and thousands of members, thousands of relationships that will be disrupted because of what potentially lies before us in the midst of a pandemic. But our connections extend beyond just our members. They extend to our providers, to our communities, and to family members. In terms of those connections with our community, though, we've got wellness centers spread out across our 20 counties, the Highland Avenue Center, and then satellite offices in other locations where we do health and wellness programming, yoga, personal financial management, bingo day even, arts and crafts. And I've had the opportunity to stop in on a few occasions. It's cool work that we're doing in our communities. We've invested $144 million in our communities and in our providers related to COVID relief in the pandemic. That's the connection that we're talking about. The voices, the stories from our community, from our family members, and from our members need to be told. I'm asking all of you to make sure they're heard by everybody that's making these decisions, because there will be impacts. Jess, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Trey, for having me here.
Great message. Thank you.